What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be watching a video titled Why Atlanta is Built Completely Wrong, which I just watched a video on Atlanta and the fact that it has more people than my whole country of Finland. It's messed with my brain. The population of 6.4 million people, I think, in Atlanta it's there's more people there than in my country. In one city, okay? I just had to get that out there again, but mind-boggling. Anyways, without further ado, let's see why Atlanta is built completely wrong.
Atlanta has the busiest airport on the entire planet, a skyline that screams economic dominance, and the corporate headquarters of more Fortune 500 companies than almost anywhere else in the South. And yet, somehow, this city functions like it was designed by someone who had never actually seen a city before. We are talking about a place where you can be 20 minutes from downtown and still need a car just to cross the street. A place where the infrastructure is so broken, so deliberately sabotaged, that the people who built it basically trapped themselves inside their own creation. And later in this video, I am going to show you the single most infuriating political decision in modern urban history. The moment when Atlanta's own suburbs voted to destroy the city's one shot at fixing itself, and exactly why they did it. If you
Okay, this video sounds quite biased. What?
click away right now, you are going to miss the blueprint for everything wrong with American city planning. And trust me, understanding Atlanta could save you from making a $100,000 mistake if you are ever thinking about relocating to one of these sprawling Sunbelt metros. This is not a travel video.
What am I watching right now? I thought that I was gonna say, trust me, it will save you from when you're building your own city.
This is a warning. So smash that subscribe button, because we are just getting started in America's most chaotic, most contradictory, most car-obsessed city. Let's break it down. Picture this. You are sitting in a window seat on a plane descending into Hartsfield-Jackson, and as the clouds clear, you look down and see nothing but houses, for miles, in every direction. An endless, unbroken carpet of single-family homes, cul-de-sacs, strip malls, and concrete arteries snaking between them like cracked veins on a roadmap. We are talking about an urban footprint that covers over 8,300 square.
Wow, that looks absolutely wild. It looks beautiful though, but it does look very overwhelming, but very, very, very cool. Wow. I like that. I like the shot. And everything's so, like, look at the grids of the neighborhoods and everything. Oh. Okay, I don't know why that's so cool.
Square miles. A sprawl so massive it is almost as large as the entire state of Massachusetts. Let that land in your brain for a second. Now imagine stepping off that plane. The air outside the terminal hits you immediately, thick, warm, and carrying the distinct perfume of jet fuel mixed with diesel exhaust from the army of 18-wheelers idling along the interstate interchange. The sound is constant, a low mechanical roar that never fully stops, day or night. This is not a city that breathes. This is a city that idles. To understand why...
I mean, yeah, I didn't think about the fact that it's probably very loud there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of loud noises and a lot of people, but I mean, it is what it is, no? It is what it is.
Atlanta works the way it does, or more accurately, why it does not work at all, you have to go back to the 1830s. Atlanta was not founded with any grand vision. There was no deliberate plan, no brilliant urban architect drawing grids on parchment. This place was literally just a railroad terminus. They called it terminus, a dot on a map where train tracks stopped. And from that utterly chaotic, unplanned origin, Atlanta simply kept growing outward. No center, no spine. Just more roads, more suburbs, more sprawl, forever. The city's entire DNA was set in those early years. Expand outward, never inward, and assume the car will solve everything. Let's talk numbers, Because Atlanta's data is genuinely mind-bending. The city's population density sits at around 3,800 people per square mile. For context, that is already pretty low for a major American city, but zoom out to the broader metro area, and that number craters to just 630 people per square mile. Paris, France, the actual city of Paris, fits a population roughly 4 times larger into less than a third of Atlanta's land area. 4 times the people, 1/3 the space. That is not just a difference in urban design. That is a fundamentally different philosophy about what a city is supposed to be. Now layer on top of that the absolute monster that is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the single busiest airport on the planet, which processes over 100 million passengers every single year. 100 million, and where do all those planes, all that cargo, all that commercial freight go once it lands? Onto the same roads, the same already strangled highway grid that the rest of the metro is trying to use to get to work, to school, to the grocery store. The airport does not have its own dedicated freight corridor whisking cargo.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, look at how many roads it has as well. I mean, how can you fix that? It's already got so many roads. I don't know. Maybe they can make like roads on top of the roads that go, so they're like, oh, this is a business idea. Well, it's probably would be costly, but imagine it had like a bridge on top, but you can like enter the bridge from one way, and then it would be another highway on top of the already built highway. Getting a lot of business ideas nowadays. I'm kidding. That's because yesterday I said in a video that there could be laser guns that go. Anyways.
Away from the city. It dumps it directly onto the highway system, and the highway system then has an absolute meltdown. And housing? Oh, you thought the suburbs were cheap? They used to be. But as remote work sent waves of new residents flooding into the Atlanta metro, prices across the board surged. The bargain that supposedly justified all this sprawl is quietly disappearing. Here is where it gets real. The average weekday congestion in Atlanta lasts around 5 hours. 5 hours every single weekday, where the roads are operating at a level that turns a 20-minute commute into a 45-minute hostage situation. The average Atlanta driver loses 65 hours a year, more than 2.5 full days of their life, sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, staring at the back of someone else's pickup truck. That ranks Atlanta as the 5th worst city for traffic in the entire nation.
There is something, I don't remember where I got this from, but there is something that if you're a person that gets annoyed in traffic, because I used to as well, there was something somewhere that I read that said, imagine that, okay, this is probably a little bit dark, but if for the people who get annoyed in traffic, because this is, some people are going through situations, I don't know what situation you're in while you're watching this, but if you're one of the people who are stuck in traffic and get annoyed, there was something that I read somewhere that said, if you imagine like that you got sick or something and it was your last days, and I know this is dark, and you can't do anything like about it, how much you would want to be outside stuck in that traffic for one more time if you didn't have anything else. I don't know how to explain it. I don't remember what exactly I read, something like that, but after that I haven't been mad about being stuck in traffic ever again.
Not the worst, just bad enough to make you genuinely question every life decision that led you here. And the freight situation? Atlanta is home to 5 of the top 20 worst truck freight choke points in the entire country. 5. The crown jewel of this nightmare is a tangle of interstates near downtown that locals and engineers alike have lovingly nicknamed Spaghetti Junction, a multi-level interchange where interstates 85 and 285 collide into what can only be described as a structural stress dream. On a bad day, trucks back up for miles. On a really bad day, one fender bender somewhere in that knot of concrete shuts down the entire northeastern corridor of the city. One local on Reddit put it best: Atlanta practically functions like a giant collection of suburbs connected by highways where walking is impossible and every errand feels like a road trip. That is not hyperbole, that is the lived experience of millions of people. Want to grab coffee? Drive. Want to pick up your kid from school? Drive. Want to walk to literally anything? Congratulations, you have moved to the wrong city. So here is the question I want you to answer.
This is something that's not really an issue in Europe. I mean, Europe is in general. This is something that is pretty much in general. It's very walkable. You can walk nearly anywhere. Like, a lot of people, well, nearly everyone, walks to school. If it's not that you live like in the suburbs or somewhere. Like everything is very, very, very near.
In the comments right now. Would you trade 65 hours of annual traffic delays and a complete dependency on your car for a detached suburban home with a yard in one of America's biggest economic engines? Yes or no? Drop it below, because I genuinely want to know where you land on this. Because here is the thing, Atlanta almost escaped this trap. There was a moment decades ago when this city had a real shot at building its way out, a real transit system, a real alternative to the endless car dependency, and then something happened that killed it. And who killed it and why is the most infuriating part of this entire story. In the early 1970s, Atlanta launched one of the most ambitious public transit projects in American history. The Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, MARTA, was supposed to be the backbone of the entire region. The plan was enormous. A sprawling rail network that would connect the city to its suburbs, move people efficiently across the metro, and finally give Atlanta the circulatory system it never had. For one brief moment, Atlanta had a real chance to stop being a car city and start being an actual city. And then the suburbs said no. Cobb County, Gwinnett County, Clayton County. One by one, the surrounding suburban jurisdictions voted against joining the MARTA system. The reasons given were taxes. Nobody wanted to pay into a regional transit authority. But the undercurrent, documented in the political debates of the era, was something uglier: a deep resistance to connecting predominantly white suburban communities to predominantly black urban neighborhoods. The politics of exclusion dressed up in the language of fiscal conservatism. Whatever the stated reason, the outcome was the same. MARTA was gutted before it ever reached its potential. Today, the system operates just 4 rail lines. 4. In a metro area covering over 8,300 square miles with millions of residents, you have 4 rail lines that completely bypass massive job centers like Alpharetta, Marietta, and the booming tech corridors of the northern suburbs. If you work in Alpharetta and live in Decatur, MARTA cannot help you. You are getting in your car. You are joining the 65-hour-per-year traffic club. You are becoming part of the problem because the system gave you no other choice. And here is Sam's final thought on all of this. Atlanta is the ultimate proof of what happens when a society builds infrastructure around the assumption that everyone will always have a car, always have gas money, always be physically capable of driving, and always have enough time to sit in traffic. It is a city that made a decision decades ago, almost subconsciously, through 1,000 small political choices, to prioritize the movement of vehicles over the movement of people. And now it is locked into that decision. Every new suburb that gets built reinforces the need for another highway. Every new highway induces more traffic. Every congestion hour pushes more people to demand more lanes. It is a machine that feeds itself. Atlanta is not a failure of ambition. It is a failure of imagination. A city that could not picture what it would look like if people mattered more than parking spaces. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to this channel. See you on the next one. Atlanta.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, yes, it is built a bit different, but I feel like whoever made this video does not have many good things to say about Atlanta anyway, so But guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you're from the Atlanta area. How is it? Is it actually as bad as the video says it to be? Yep. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.